Hello and welcome to my channel. If you've already been here, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the significance of 29 degrees and what that means with astrology, whether it's in a transit meaning what's currently going on in the sky, and also what it could mean if you have it in your birth chart. Yesterday brought up an interesting point in my mind that I meant to talk about, but realized I completely left that part out. So, yesterday's video was about the Venus star point that occurs today in the sign of Libra at 29 degrees. So, to break it down, what 29 degrees means is a cycle coming towards a close, and all the wisdom in that area has been developed, and it's preparation to move on to a new chapter and a new cycle because you've learned everything there is to learn in that aspect and what that sign and that planet means. So, to break it down, in the zodiac wheel that has 12 signs, it's a circle, so it's 360 degrees. There's 12 signs. So that means that each sign has 30 degrees to it. And it doesn't go 1 through 30, it's actually 0 through 29. So if a sign is in 29 degrees, that means that it's towards the very end of that sign and it's close to changing into the next sign. So let's say that you have Aries at 29 degrees in whatever planet it's in. It means that it was on the borderline edge, like at the cusp of the end of Aries, getting close to move on to the sign of Taurus. So I'll break some things down and get into specifics of your natal chart and what that may mean for you, and I'll talk about today's transit. That's the Venus star point, which means conjunction of the sun. What does that 29 degrees in Libra mean? So Libra is the sign that rules peace, harmony, love, friendships, partnerships, could be romance, and that's actually the sign that Venus rules. So because it's at 29 degrees, that's why I was talking about chapters in your love life or personal relationships coming to a close, and you're ready to move on to the next, chapter in your life. You've accumulated a lot of wisdom. Whether it's leveling up in a relationship, it's talking about gaining wisdom with learning about yourself and learning about what you want and don't want as far as friendships and partnerships go. So that's what that means collectively for everyone. Now, if you look at your natal chart, it'll show you all these crazy numbers. If it doesn't have the little degree sign that tells you what degree it's in, it's going to be on the furthest left side. The numbers you see furthest in the left, I'll show you an example of a chart and what I'm talking about here. So if you're looking at it in the list format, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera backwards. So if you look at which one is the furthest to the left, that would be in this column here, closest to the list of planets, but before it lists the zodiac sign listing. Those are going to be what shows you what degree all your stuff is in. And if you look at the wheel format, I'll try to blow it up here so you can see. So where the planet symbols are, it's going to be the number that looks the largest, that's close to where those symbols are, like. So the sun sign right here, it's in Pisces, and there's a number 12 there that's bigger than that littler number. So that's what degree your sun is in and what sign it's in. That might be a lot for people that are kind of beginners in astrology or know like the average amount, which is pretty much most people. So I'll get into talking about, if you look at your chart and what planet the 29 degrees is in, if you have it, what it could mean for you, as well as what sign it's in. Now, even though it's not 29 degrees, this could apply to you if your degree number is at 25 or higher, because it still means that it's close to the end of that sign. So if you have Mercury at 29 degrees, it means that you have a lot of wisdom in that aspect of life. Mercury deals with communication. You could be meant to do something for a living that has to do with communication, possibly electronics and computers. You're a great writer. And that could be if you have 25 through 29 degrees into Mercury. If you have Venus in 29 degrees, that has to do with partnerships, friendships, romance, also the beauty industry. You might make a great relationship or dating coach, and you might also have a lot of wisdom in the fashion industry, or that might be something you're really good at. Mars, that has to do with enthusiasm, passion, energy, anything in those aspects of life. If you have 29 degrees in Mars, or even 25 and higher, that could be where your wisdom is. You could be very versed in, being a very enthusiastic person. I've also been told that it has to do with law enforcement. Someone with 29 degrees in Mars, you could be very good in that aspect of life, or that might be what you do for a living. Jupiter has to do with generosity, expansion, travel, and wisdom. That might be something that you're good at with the 29 degrees if that's in your chart in Jupiter. Saturn, that has to do with karma, discipline, and time, responsibility, finances. That might make you a great financial advisor. Uranus, that has to do with revolutionary things, fighting the system, standing up to the man. You might be leading the expedition to fight against injustice. You might be the voice for, maybe an oppressed group of people, and you're trying to stand up for it. Neptune, that has to do with the dream life, the underworld, all things metaphysical and intuition. You might have a highly developed, gifted area when it comes to dealing with metaphysics and all things in the psychic realms and dream world. You might be good at, things that have to do with forms of divination. Pluto, that has to do with endings and new beginnings. You might be on the borderline of your generation. And also, as dark as it is, dealing with matters of death. You might be that friend that brings comfort to people who are dealing with losses. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, because I don't want you to look at your chart and think, oh, I have 0 or 1 degree in this or that, and think that you're not wise. If you're in the first 5 degrees of any planet or sign, that has to do with, because it's fresh and new to you, versus the old crone, with 29 degrees anywhere, or 25 through 29, it means you're an old soul and you have old soul energy, and you might be very wise. You might seem wise beyond your years. Now, when you talk about the opposite, if somebody or you has 0 degrees in something, or pretty early on in that sign, 0 through 5 degrees anywhere, that's all about a childlike, fresh enthusiasm about an area. So you might be passionate about learning something all new. For example, if you have Mercury at 0 degrees, or even 1, 2, or 3 degrees, you're enthusiastic and passionate about learning things having to do with communication. And same with all of those zodiac signs. Whatever sign it's in and energy that it covers, it could have to do with that, but I've noticed with analyzing people's charts, I think it's more connected to the energy of the planet versus the sign. So let's say that you have Neptune and Capricorn at 29 degrees. You're more likely to have the wisdom when it comes to metaphysics versus Capricorn that has to do with finances and time and karma. It could be somehow a combination of both, but from what I've looked at with analyzing charts, I think it's connected more to the planet. To a lot of you, that are pretty new to astrology, this might sound like a bunch of blah blah blah, and you might not be absorbing any of it. But with anything astrology related, I recommend looking at your own chart and seeing where things fall in your chart and see if it makes sense to you. Then you can have fun analyzing different friends and family members' charts and see if that makes any sense. But if you or a friend has some placements that is in 25 through 29 degrees, you're gonna notice that they might be that old soul kind of friend, especially in the area connected to the planet that it covers. Also, if your birthday falls on the 29th of a month, even though astrologically that wouldn't normally have anything to do with it, but looking at patterns and seeing people with those birthdays, I've noticed that too, that the 29th of a month is a significant number. They're all significant, but just in different ways. I hope that made sense for you and that it was interesting. I plan on making more astrology videos soon, so I hope it's not blowing up your phone too much with letting you know that I made another video and all these videos coming through. So if you think that making longer videos with more timestamps is more viewer friendly versus shorter videos where there's several of them, let me know what you think is more fun for you to watch. I'm trying to make everything more viewer friendly and kind of doing things a little bit differently to see what's more helpful. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and count on seeing more videos in the near future very soon. I'll do some tarot readings, I'll do some horoscopes as well over the next week or so. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.